Welcome to Your Resume, Branded or Buried, a webinar hosted by Advance IT Minnesota. Whether you are a CCDC contestant, an Advance IT Alumni Association member, or simply wish to improve your resume, you will walk away today with practical and useful tips on how to immediately enhance your job search and career planning efforts. I am Julie Schlack with Advance IT Minnesota, your moderator for today's presentation. We had audio issues during our original broadcast, so we have recreated the audio portion for you. Today's presenter is Sharon Bourbon Hanson, Associate Executive Director at Advance IT. She has been teaching personal branding and offering resume, cover letter, and interview coaching for over 10 years. She is the author of 101 Ways to Dead End Your IT Job, a tongue-in-cheek compendium of advice. Sharon began the Advance IT Minnesota Student and Alumni Association to offer IT students and alumni beyond the classroom skills that will help you secure or advance in your IT career. Please welcome Sharon Bourbon Hanson.
Thank you, Julie, and welcome listeners. So, what is a branded resume? It's a contemporary presentation that connects your experience to the job you want. And this could be a promotion within the company where you work or a brand new position. And what a branded resume does is show the distinctive benefit that you bring to a company. It's an extension of your personal brand, and your personal brand is that distinctive benefit you offer. It has impact delivered through a clean visual look. It lets the reviewer know what job you're seeking. It puts your experience in context, and it uses achievement-based terms that show your benefit to employers. So, what is a resume's job? It's to get you the interview. Your resume is only a tool, but it has to be a very effective tool. The top third is really important, and it needs to immediately capture attention and encourage the reviewers to want to find out more about you. It needs to be self-sufficient in case it becomes separated from your cover letter, and it must speak the needs of the employer. So let's look closely at the top third. So the opening of the top third contains your first name, middle initial, and your last name. That's in the header section. Now I use Microsoft Word. Your software may be a little bit different, but it'll be similar to using Word. So I'm going to explain it using the tool that I use. The first thing I want to tell you about this top third is that this is where you can alter information to suit the jobs you're applying for. So you're going to go into the header section and put your name, your email, and phone number. You'll be placing your address and LinkedIn.com URL or any other online information within the footer. Now your resume may be 2 pages, so in the header footer tools on the ribbon, you want to choose different first page for that first page header. And then you can put your first name, last name, and continued on the second page. You want to separate this header section with a line that runs from margin to margin. And in fact, you'll separate each section in the resume with a similar line. So the rest of the top third contains your headline, summary, and your competencies. Companies today don't care about an objective, so don't waste space using one. You want to open your resume with a headline that reflects the job you want and tells something about you. So this one says IT Project Manager and Business Relationship Builder. It also has a little subhead, Inspiring High Performance Team to Successful Project Completion. A subhead is a wonderful idea. After the header and the subhead, you want to put your summary. And a summary contains 3 sentences. The first concisely tells the reader the value you offer. On this resume, it's leadership with results. The other sentences tell how you demonstrate your value and bring solutions. Influence, partnership, and communication skills that drive revenue and accomplish goals are what this summary says to employers. So you want to develop your sentences from the job description of the position you're seeking. After the summary, you're going to create a noun-based bulleted list, and you can do this within a table. And this is where you're going to place your core competencies. Core competencies are key words and phrases that help scanning software or HR recruiters find you. They reinforce your summary qualifications or expand on them. They're often a mix of business, professionalism, and a few technical skills. Your whole list of technical skills can be put in a separate section. Now, if you're not sure what your core competencies are, think what your friends or coworkers would say about you. Those are your cores. This completes the opening section. Now we're in the meat of the resume, the experience section. So you want to use reverse chronological order. You're going to put the company name, location, and the dates you worked there on one line. Directly below that, place a one-sentence summary that tells a little bit about the business. This gives scope and context to your job. The same job is different if it's done for a small business versus a huge enterprise. Both are valuable, but you want to let the potential employer know where you did your work. Next comes your title, followed by your achievements in the position. You only want to list the highlights, not tasks or responsibilities. Employers already know the tasks and responsibilities a particular position handles. So you don't want to just put a list in. You want to be also very specific. For instance, you would say, developed strategies for disaster recovery with 100% success rate, rather than developed strategies for disaster recovery. The information in your bullets should tell your value, the benefit you brought your employers. It's how you did a good job. Here, they developed strategies and formed teams. It should say how you did a good job, how you know that you did that good job. Here, it's the 100% success rate. And you want to tell what that good job looked like. Here, it was successful SAS 70 and PCI reports, and that strategies were adopted by other work units. You want to use action verbs to describe these solutions and benefits you provided. You're going to use present tense in the bullets for your current job, but past tense for all the others. Now, if you were promoted, you to indicate the entire length of service on the line with the company name, and then put the dates you spent in each job position by that particular title. Now we're in the related information section. That's usually education, technical competencies, awards and honors achievements, and associated activities. Under education, you want to list all the education and any certificates you've earned, along with the dates and the name of the institution where you attained them. You can also add your technical competencies in this section if you title it Education and Technical Competencies, or following education, you can list your technical competencies. After that, sort of shown in the middle here, are awards, honors, achievements. And you really want those to relate to the job field or to support a key attribute you bring to the job. The same holds true for your associated activities. You want them to be related to your skills. So for instance, if you've listed that you have great communication skills, this would be a great place to put that you belong to Toastmasters or a debate club. Now, if you follow the hints that we've gone through, your resume will definitely rise to the bottom or to the top of the pile. It won't be buried in the bottom.
We had a few questions during our original broadcast that we want to share with you. One of the questions was, what if I don't think I brought a particular benefit?
You know, we're very humble in Minnesota, but we always bring benefits to our job. A good team member, then you benefited team morale. And team morale means good productivity. Did profits increase even 0.5%? Well, that may sound tiny, but it's really a benefit. Now, there's a recipe that you can use to come up with your benefits. Think of a situation or a problem that your team had or your business had, and what part you played in the solution. That equals your benefit. Now, I'll give you an example. Say under an extremely tight deadline, you recognized your coworkers' efforts, which helped lower their stress and raise their morale, and thus the productivity of the team. That helped you meet your deadline. So your bullet would be raised team morale and productivity, resulting in hitting project deadline and containing project costs. Now, I know I didn't mention the costs earlier, but anytime you hit a deadline, you've contained costs.
That's good to know, Sharon. Another question we have is, why do I put my address in the footer? I always thought I put all that information about myself at the very top of my resume.
You know, that goes back to the fact that the top third is very important territory, and you don't want to take up space, your address. That's not going to get you the interview. So you just put it in the footer so that they have it, but you save that space on the top for those things that are going to get you in front of an interviewer.
Excellent, good to know. Okay, a couple more questions from our attendees. How far back in time should I go with experience, especially if I have had multiple jobs?
The usual wisdom is to go back no further than 15 years. However, if you have a qualification or an achievement that really speaks to the job you're seeking, and it's further back than 15 years, then definitely include it. Just keep it concise.
Excellent. Okay, another question. If this is my first resume, I have no job experience in IT, do I list prior career experience?
Absolutely. There are a lot of skills that are transferable, especially professionalism or what are called soft skills. Are you a team builder? Do you have great communication? Were you progressively promoted? All of those speak to excellent attributes that you would have. The one thing you do want to do is each job discipline or career area tends to have its own lingo or language. So you want to make sure that you use the IT language even in your not IT job experience.
Excellent. So what if I volunteered to do IT work for an organization that might be controversial, like a political party or religious group?
If what you did for that group or party is pertinent and helps support your skills and knowledge, you definitely want to include it. And here's something to think about. You want to find employment that fits you and where you're going to be happy. And if somebody is going to object to where you volunteered, you probably don't want to work there.
Okay. Here's another question from the audience. What about the cover letter? Do you have any tips for that?
I do indeed. Many people start out a cover letter saying, I want to apply for. Well, really? Don't you actually want that job? That's what you want to say. I am interested in this position. And then name what the position is. Also, one thing that I've done in my past resumes or cover letters that has been very effective, in the job description, they're telling you what you want. You do a small table that lists your wants, my skills and achievements. And then if they have a particular need, say for a certain type of software knowledge, in the your skills and achievements, you tell how you used that software and the benefit your knowledge of that software brought to the employer. Boy, do you make the hiring interviewer's job easy when you do that.
That's great information. Did you have anything else to add to that?
Sure, I was just going to say that the cover letter is a place to put some really subjective type of information. The resume is where the real concrete stuff is placed, but it's a place where you can say I'm a great team player, people like working with me, those sorts of things.
Good. Do you tailor every cover letter for each individual job that you're seeking, or do you have a generic cover letter?
I absolutely tailor the cover letter to the position I want to seek, or I am seeking. Just like the top third of my resume, they're all geared to that particular employer and that particular position.
That's good to know. I think that's the end of questions from our audience. So we're going to go on to the wrap-up portion. Okay, now that you know what to do with your resume, here's a chance to show it off. Register and attend the Advance IT Alumni Association Recruiter Mixer on April 15th. In preparation for this event, we are sharing weekly tips that will, number one, help you stand out on April 15th. Second, increase your knowledge of professionalism. Third, these tips will also include links to action verbs, further resume tips, and tips on using LinkedIn effectively to find a job and position yourself as a great hire. Register today for this event and get this week's tips for April 15th. I want to wish good luck to CCDC participants in the Midwest Regional Competition coming up this weekend. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and join us on LinkedIn. We want to thank you again today for joining us and for listening to this rebroadcast of our webinar. Thank you.